Hey everybody, I'm Ryan. Today we're going to be doing more of our constructed set review. We're going to be looking at multicolored cards and lands in the Brothers War. Because this is a constructed set review, I'm not going to be giving each of them a grade. Instead, I'm going to be talking about each one of them and the role they might play in constructed decks in every format. If there are any cards I don't think are going to make a splash in constructed at all, I'm just going to skip over them. So let's jump right into it. Saihi, Filigree Master, I'm definitely mispronouncing that, is 4 mana, 2 generic, 1 red, 1 blue. Legendary Planeswalker. Starts with 3 loyalty. You can scry 1. You may tap an untapped artifact you control if you do draw a card. You get -2 to create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. They get haste until end of turn. And you can -4 to get an emblem with artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and artifact spells you cast cost 1 less cast. Obviously, you want to play Saihi in an artifact deck, but even outside of a totally focused all-in artifact deck, as long as you have a little bit of support, I think Saihi is pretty good. Because the minus protects itself, which is definitely like a important part of every Planeswalker. It protects itself for 2 turns as long as there's no trample, which is kind of neat. Its plus gives you card advantage because you're probably also going to be having those extra artifacts as support. And its -4 begins like a finishing move. And so if there's any artifact support at all, which there should be because a ton of amazing artifacts got printed in this set, at least, you know, for standard. Saihi is a pretty strong card for standard. I don't think it's strong enough for journal formats, but it seems pretty good. Erza Lord Protector is 3 mana, 1 generic, 1 white, 1 blue. Legendary creature, Human Artificer. Artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast as a 2/4. You can pay 7 mana if you both own and control Erza Lord Protector and an artifact named the Mightstone and Weakstone. Exile them and meld them into Erza Planeswalker. Activate only as a sorcery. Its flip side, so the Erza Planeswalker is once during each of your turns, you may activate additional loyalty ability of Erza Planeswalker. So you can activate all the abilities twice, and there are 5 abilities that starts at 7 loyalty, which is nuts. +2, artifact, instant, and sorcery spells you cast this turn cost 2 less to cast, you gain 2 life. +1, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. 0, create 2 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature tokens. -3, exile target non-land permanent, or -10, artifact and planeswalkers you control gain indestructible until end of turn, destroy all non-land permanents. If you flip into Erza Planeswalkers, you win the game, is basically what all that says. Well, I think Erza Lord Protector, just on its front side, is excellent. Mightstone, Weakstone, a little less so. So, you know, maybe you play some number of them, so you have the option of flipping into Erza Lord Protector in the late game. But being able to play Erza Lord Protector in a tempo deck or even a control deck where make everything cost so much less and be able to double spell every turn is super, super, super powerful. And then in the deep late game, you draw your 1 or 2 of Mightstone and Weakstone, and you get to make Erza Lord Protector like insane and be your end game. I think this might be the future of Blue-Eye Control, and Erza Lord Protector is amazing, at least in Standard. Might even be played in Pioneer. Like, the front side of this is so powerful. Harbin, Vanguard, Aviator is a blue and a white legendary creature, human soldier. Has flying as a 3/2, and whenever you attack with 5 or more soldiers, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain flying until end of turn. This is a great 2 mana soldier for the deck. You know, but probably played as like a 2 of, unfortunately, because it's legendary. For this go wide soldiers deck that is being pushed in this set and has been pushed in the past. A on-tribal 2 mana 3/2 with flying is already great, but then once you start going wide, you can just like have this card as a finisher. Like if you're going to get a gummed up board, you're going really, really wide, you can just like have this card and attack with 5 other homies, which I imagine is not that hard because there's so many things that make to make 1/1 soldiers. You know, you just play this card and it's insane. It's all in. Legion to Ass is 3 mana, 1 generic, 1 white, 1 black. As a sorcery, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls, and all tokens that player controls of the same name as that permanent. So exiling an non-land permanent is really why you're playing this, right? Like it's solid. You know, as far as exiling all the tokens of the same name as that permanent, I think that's just gravy on a card like this. But a black-white sorcery, exile something is solid for the, you know, mid-range card, is a reasonable control card. It's unfortunate it's not an instant, but This card is definitely going to be played as one of the better removal spells. There's probably a combo deck based around Queen Kayla, Bin Krug. It's a 3 mana, 1 generic, 1 red, 1 white. Human Noble is a 2/3, and you can pay 4 mana and tapper to discard all cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. You may choose an artifact or creature card with mana value 1 you discarded this way. Then do the same for an artifact or creature card with mana values 2 and 3. Return those cards to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. You know, there's probably some sort of value you can get off of this. I can't really picture it, but like that's a lot of text and a lot of free things entering the battlefield and essentially free card draw for it not to be good in some fashion. It's a huge mana investment though, so it might not be played at all. Third pass icon class is 2 mana, 1 blue, 1 red. Human Monk 2/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. We got another Young Pyromancer. I mean, this is going to be played in Young Pyromancer decks, right? Tempo-oriented, a lot of really, really cheap spells. I think this card is going to be played as 4-ofs in a lot of decks. And we have Young Pyromancer back in Standard, which is kind of incredible because, like, we already have these, like, really, really good, like, cheap spell tempo decks that this card is going to make so much better and maybe push it over the top. YodyTactician is 4 mana, 2 generic, 1 white, 1 blue. Human soldier. Other soldiers you control get +1/+1, and it's a 3/4. 3/4 is a great power and toughness. 4 mana is like the top end of this curve besides the white dog. I can't remember his name. Rescue Retriever, I think. You know, just another soldier lord. The soldiers have so many lords and lord-like effects. Just add it. This will be played in that soldier deck, you know, again, as another one of these like super crazy go wide nutso lords. And that's exciting. So we're also going to be looking at the lands in this video. So we have the remaining pain lands in the cycle. We got Battlefield Forge, Brushland, Llanowar Wastes, and Underground River. These are awesome dual lands. Awesome. They're just pain lands. Obviously, they're going to be played as dual lands, which is sweet. I don't think I need to say anything else about them. Blast Zone is already played really heavily in Eternal formats, and obviously will be played in Constructed as well. Enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it. You can tap it to add 1 colorless. You can pay XX and tap it to put X charge counters on Blast Zone, and you can pay 3 mana and tap it and sacrifice it to destroy all non-land permanents with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Blast Zone. It's a land ratchet bomb with extra steps. It's a great card. We love this card. It'll be played as long as it doesn't like hurt the mana of it, which is exciting. Fortified Beachhead is the soldier land, which is just crazy. They're pushing this soldier deck so much. I love it. I'm 100% brewing it, by the way. As Fortified Beachhead enters the battlefield, you may reveal a soldier card from your hand. Fortified Beachhead enters the battlefield tapped unless you reveal a soldier card this way or you control a soldier. It's a blue-white land, you know, just a normal blue-white land. So it should be easy in the soldier deck. And you can pay 5 mana and tap it, or soldiers you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Notice it's not activate only as a sorcery, so you can use it as a combat trick in the late game, which is nuts. I'm so excited. This land's great. Obviously, this only in the soldier deck, like exclusively in the soldier deck, but still pretty cool. Mishras Foundry is a land that you can tap and add a colorless. Or you can pay 2 mana, have Mishras Foundry become a 2/2 assembly worker artifact creature until end of turn. Is still a land. Or you can pay 1 mana and tap it, where target attacking assembly worker gets +2/+2 till end of turn. In these monocolored, or maybe even dual colored, I could see this played in aggressive decks. This is just like another threat. I mean, the immediate deck in Standard that I think this is going to be played in is mono red. And I'm sure like there's some colorless creature matters decks that exist in other Eternal formats. This is a very, very powerful card. Just another man land, which is really exciting and is something that Standard really lacks right now. Demolition Field is a land that you can tap it to add a colorless, or you can pay 2 mana, tap it, and sacrifice it. Destroy a non-basic land an opponent controls. That land's controller may search a library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. You may search a library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So this is mana fixing for you, and it destroys problematic lands of our opponents, which they're definitely going to be problematic lands, as we can already see just looking at these lands. It'll definitely be played in some number, again, as long as it doesn't actively affect your like mana. Evolving Wilds, right? You sacrifice it, get a basic land tapped, and then shuffle. This might be played. It has been played in Standard in the past, but I think mana is pretty good right now. But as soon as mana gets bad, or people start like really pushing these colors, Evolving Wilds normally steps in these Standard formats and helps. So there are all of the lands and multicolored cards that I think are going to make a splash in Constructed. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Did I miss anything? You should put that in the comments for me, or tell me what you thought. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see other stuff, check me out on other social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.